let's go over all the different planets in astrology and what they mean. So each of the planets represent a different aspect of who you are or your destiny, depending on where they were at the time of your birth. So starting with the sun is what you know your astrology sign to be. It's based on what month you were born in. And so that's where the sun was at that time. So the sun is your essence. It's your ego, kind of your core self. It's what wants to shine within you, what you probably feel like you are, unless you have a lot of planets in another sign that's dominating your chart. You probably feel very much like your sun sign, but in general, you'll feel like your sun is your core, is your essence, and that your sun is being expressed in the way of your rising sign. So your rising sign or your ascendant is what starts your birth chart. So it will be your first house in your chart. So your rising sign is how you express yourself. It's how people first see you. It's your first impressions. It's so your sun is your essence, and then you express it in the way of your rising sign. So rising sign is your physical appearance, it's your personality, it's the way you see the world and the world sees you. Your rising sign is your approach to life, and you may have been more like your sun sign as a child, and then when you grow up, you rise into your rising sign. So you might feel very much so like your rising sign, like that is more of your personality than your sun sign. Your rising sign can represent your style, your personality, your physical appearance, your approach to life. Your moon sign is your relationship with your emotions. It's your subconscious, it's your private life, it's your inner world. It's how you process emotional information. So if you have an air sign moon or a water sign moon, those are going to process your emotions in very different ways. Your moon sign is your instincts, it's your private self, it's your initial reactions to things, it's your private world, it's your inner self, it's what is probably a little bit hidden from other people. Unless you have your moon in your first house, then you're probably very expressive with your emotions. Since your first house has to do with expression, with the body, with the self, moon in the first house is going to express their emotions much more prominently than someone who has their moon in maybe the 8th house, which is more hidden and private and secret. And you have Mercury. Mercury is how you think, how you communicate, it's how you process information. So your Mercury sign is going to tell you about your communication style with others, how you gather, receive, and share information. It's your intellect, it's your reasoning, it's how you solve problems, how you learn things, and how your curiosity shows up in the world. And then your Venus sign is going to show you how you love, what you're attracted to. It's all about beauty, love, pleasure. It's also about creativity. Your Venus sign also shows what you value. And Venus is one of the benefic planets. So it brings lots of positivity and good energy to wherever it's at. And then we have Mars. Mars is all about action, energy, drive. It's about our aggression, about how we approach things energetically, how it's about our sexuality, our sexual nature. It's how we approach conflict, how we pursue our desires. It's how we go after things. It's our ambition, it's our physical energy and our approach to challenges. And then Mars is considered one of the malefic planets. So Mars can bring a little bit of a negative, challenging aspect to it sometimes because of its aggressive nature. And we have Jupiter. And Jupiter is all about growth and expansion. It's lucky, it brings blessings and money and prosperity. So Jupiter is the other benefic planet. So it brings lots of positivity to wherever it's at. It also is about the quest for meaning, philosophy, it's our higher learning, it's optimistic, and where it shows up in your chart shows where you receive the most luck and growth and blessings the most easily. When you embody the energy of the sign that Jupiter is in your chart, you will receive blessings a lot more quickly and a lot more easily. And then we have Saturn. Saturn is all about rules and responsibility and discipline. It's structured, it's Big Daddy Saturn. It's all about karma. It's all about doing things, putting in the work, getting things done that we know that we're supposed to be doing, even if it isn't fun. So Saturn can bring some harsh lessons, and around the ages of 27 to 30, you have your Saturn return, and that can bring a lot of energy, whether you're putting in the work of embodying the sign in the house that Saturn is in your chart. If you put in the work, you'll get rewarded. And if you don't put in the work, then it'll kind of slap you in the face a little. So it's going to come in with some heavy momentum around that time. So if you're using the energy wisely, then it will bless you. And if you are not, then it can kind of pull the rug underneath you so that you can get a wake-up call. So Saturn is the other malefic planet. So it can bring some harshness, some challenges to the area that it's at, but it also can be very rewarding and bring a lot of blessings when you put in that work. And then Uranus is all about rebellion. It's sudden change and great awakening. It's where you show your individuality and your rebellion and you going against the status quo, against the norm, against the crowd. It's where your originality shines. It's where you want to break traditions. So it shows where we seek freedom, where we want to express our uniqueness. And then Neptune is all about dreams, illusions, spirituality. It's romantic and beautiful and sees things with rose-colored glasses. It can represent fantasy, illusion, escapism. And where it shows up in our chart is where we might see things not as they are, but how we want them to be, where we kind of show up with those rose-colored glasses. And then Pluto is all about rebirth, transformation, power. It governs psychological change, hidden truths, the subconscious, deep, intense experiences and struggles, things that transform us for our growth, but can be difficult and challenging as we move through them. It's the planet of letting go, of renewal, of healing. So it represents the phoenix rising from the ashes, that death and rebirth. So that like losing or leaving behind that old version of something or of yourself to grow and to become the most powerful version of you. And then your north node and your south node are going to be in opposing signs. So your north node is what you want to learn in this life. It's the energy you want to embody. It's your life purpose. It's how you grow. It's how you succeed. Versus your south node, which is going to be the opposite sign, which is what you've mastered in a past life. It's the past. It's the old. It's maybe some natural talents and skills that you have because you've already mastered that lesson. And that's why you moving towards the other side of that axis to the north node is what's going to help you propel yourself the most successfully in this life. So the south node is the past, our comfort zones, our natural skills and talents, things that we might be naturally good at, but maybe need to step away from or release or let go of in some way. And the north node is going to be unfamiliar, but essential for your growth and evolution. So that's kind of the basics of the planets, so you can understand what they mean in your birth chart and how they represent all different areas of you. So if you've heard your sun sign and you think I'm so much more than that, it's because you are, because you have so many different energies within you. Comment below if you have any signs that have 3 or more planets in that same sign. Curious, that is called a stellium when you have 3 or more planets in that same sign, and that means that you have that dominant energy in your chart. So that might make you feel like less of your sun sign or your rising sign unless it's the same sign as that. So comment below if you have a stellium in your chart and where it's at. Let me know if I should do a deep dive on the planets and their story and a little bit more about what they encompass and what they mean. Love you. Bye.